Pokemon fans of old, and when I say old, I mean Generation 1 and new, all know about Ash and his first official caught Pokemon, Caterpie, and then its evolution to Butterfree. Ash had used Butterfree for a small portion of his Kanto journey, but then let it go off to mate with a Butterfree he fell in love with, which was the pink Butterfree, and of course that made fans break down with sadness and disappointment as well. Well, what if Ash didn't release his Butterfree and he actually used it for the remainder of his Kanto journey and parts of the Orange Islands, Johto, and a few other times where Ash needed his other Pokemon to come to his aid for some kind of league or even a tournament? Well, I think I have created a very interesting what-if scenario to what could actually happen if Ash were to have kept his Butterfree. So if you're ready, let's begin. So within the third episode of Pokemon, Ash captures Caterpie, evolves it into Metapod, then Butterfree, and proceeds to use it throughout his Pokemon journey, and even still trades it off for Eradicate and then gets it back. Of course, during this time he feels a lot of regret and still feels this way when he sees Butterfree slowly drifting away from him, falling in love with the pink Butterfree. The episode plays out like it typically does, Ash using Butterfree, taking on Team Rocket and having Butterfree save pink Butterfree, but Ash is feeling a lot more passionate about using Butterfree because of all the regret and guilt built up from having the desire to trade it away. Towards the end of the episode, as Butterfree is about to take off with pink Butterfree, Ash has told Butterfree he wanted Butterfree to follow its love life and to do whatever it felt comfortable doing. Of course, Ash doesn't mean that. He's just saying this because he wants Butterfree to be happy, and Ash deep down feels like a bad trainer. Butterfree then starts to see this in Ash's eyes and starts to break down in front of Ash, flying onto him and hugging him. Ash then starts to break down and crying while hugging his Butterfree and says he's sorry for ever wanting to trade it off. Ash then says, "I want whatever is best for you," and points off to the pink Butterfree, saying to go with her. Butterfree looks at pink Butterfree. Pink Butterfree is then staring at Butterfree with admiration of tears and happiness, and proceeds to do a bug Pokemon sort of kiss. Pink Butterfree basically says to Butterfree to follow your dreams, but no, I will always love you. Ash then asks Butterfree one final time, "Are you sure you want to come back?" Butterfree shakes its head with a smile, but at the same time he knows he will miss Pink Butterfree. Ash then comes up with the idea. He says, "Hey Pink Butterfree, how about you come along with us?" Butterfree and Pink Butterfree are both very shocked to hear this. Pink Butterfree flies back super fast, hugs Ash and Butterfree, and says yes with the happiest of yeses in Pokemon language. Ash comes up with the idea that Pink Butterfree could go to Professor Oak's lab and could stay there while Butterfree is on his journey with Ash. Ash tells Butterfree as well, anytime you want to go to Professor Oak's lab to see Pink Butterfree, he could go see her. Both Butterfree were super excited and both were satisfied because they can both have what they want. Professor Oak is even more inclined for the idea because he could study Pink Butterfree on a closer basis. Butterfree then stays with Ash for the remainder of his Kanto journey. Butterfree helps Ash win against Erica, ties with Koga's Venomoth in an epic clash, helps Ash a bit in the Pokemon League, and is even able to take out Richie's Butterfree. Bulbasaur is then used to take on Richie's Pikachu, and then Pikachu is able to take out Charmander, giving Ash a 3-0 victory against Richie. Ash's next battle, however, doesn't go down how he wants to. He unfortunately loses because he makes the mistake of using Charizard as it doesn't obey him. So instead of Ash making the top 16 in the Indigo League, he makes it a bit further than that, still doing better than Gary though, haha. Ash then moves on to the Orange Islands, sending Butterfree back to Professor Oak's lab to spend time with Pink Butterfree. They even start up a happy family. Ash then proceeds to the Orange Islands, capturing Snorlax. Butterfree doesn't make an appearance until the Orange League, where it's able to take out Drake's Venusaur. Unfortunately though, it gets taken out by Dragonite. After the Orange Islands, Ash heads off to Johto and decides to leave Butterfree at the lab with Pink Butterfree until the Johto League, where Ash uses Butterfree in a few battles. With Gary though, Ash decides to use the same team he originally did in the anime. Ash then goes to Hoenn, leaving all of his Pokemon behind, starting anew, until the Battle Frontier, where Ash uses Butterfree against Frontier Brain Annabelle's team, where Butterfree uses moves like Silverwind to take out her team, gaining him Resymbol. Ash then goes through Sinnoh, once again starting without any Pokemon and progressing through his regular journey. Butterfree makes an appearance in the Sinnoh League, however, and helps Ash progress through with some synergized teams. He uses Butterfree instead of Heracross for the Tobias battle, but gets taken up by Darkrai. He is able to land off a Bug Buzz in the same scenario as Heracross landed off a Megahorn. Now the Sinnoh League is over and Butterfree is once again sent back to the lab. However, Butterfree does make a small appearance where Ash encounters a struggling Caterpie in the Unova anime. Ash calls Oak and he brings his Butterfree to help his Caterpie evolve into a beautiful Butterfree. Ash and Butterfree remember what they had gone through back in the days of Kanto. Ash and Butterfree then tell this Caterpie to follow its dreams and to find the best love of its life. Well, I feel that's a pretty good scenario where Ash would keep his Butterfree. What do you guys think? Do you have any more what-if scenarios you'd like to see? Leave them in the comments below, and whatever gets the most upvotes, I'll take a look at it. Thanks so much to the legendary Seabass for also recommending this to me. You're an awesome veteran subscriber, dude, and you're a great man. Remember that if you like this video, to be sure to leave a like and share this video with a friend. With that being said though, I'm Mystic Umbreon, and I will see you guys next time.